Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Forever Backlogged Podcast. My name is Hunter, and I have my co-host with me, Tuan, here.
Hello.
We have some pretty fun topics today that we're going to talk about. It's very much going to be Nintendo focused today. We're going to really talk about... we really want to talk about the Switch 2, I think, to start off, because Tuan and I, we got the Switch 2 like day one.
Yep.
Pretty much. And we have a lot of thoughts. I think some good, some bad. I don't know about you, but I think...
Yeah, kind of mixed feelings.
Yeah, we have some mixed feelings on it. I think we're going to start off talking about that. So, Tuan, would you like to talk about it first, or should I?
Yeah, I can lead us off.
Yeah.
Well, first thing, happy Pokemon Day.
Yes,
to you and
happy
everyone.
Pokemon Day.
We are recording this on February 27th. So, Pokemon Day, the first day Pokemon Red and Green came out, and we will actually be getting to that series later today. But yeah, we can start with the Nintendo Switch 2. There's a lot on my mind with this console, to be honest. I don't know how I feel. I kind of keep flip-flopping back and forth with how I feel about this system. It's such a weird shakeup when you think about the Switch 2 from the Switch 1. Like, it's everything we asked for and an upgrade. Like, better specs, better quality. It feels better, like not the ergonomics per se. Well, yeah, I guess the ergonomics, but it just feels more premium. You know, the joysticks feel better, the buttons feel better. There's nothing more satisfying than those Joy-Cons clapping onto the side of the system compared to the slide.
I will never get tired of that feeling. Every time I click it, it's a huge sense of euphoria that shivers through my body.
Instant satisfaction with the Joy-Cons on this system. But, I mean, pretty hyped, I'd want to say. You know, everyone was super excited, and I felt like as soon as they showed that trailer, the sentiment around the Switch 2 just changed, like, overnight. Yeah. I know a lot of people weren't happy about the upgrades that the system got. I know a lot of people weren't happy about the price. A lot of people weren't happy with game key cards, which we'll get to at some point in this podcast on this episode. But overall, I personally like the Switch 2 as an upgrade, but I have some very mixed feelings about it, and it's a love-hate relationship for sure.
I think for me, it is a really nice upgrade. I think it's just more so of like, I would definitely wait like a good bit before someone decides to buy one, just because like if you're loving your Switch now, you're still good with it for the next probably like a year or two maybe.
Maybe. I mean,
but I mean,
as we saw today with Pokemon Day, like Winds and Waves, which is the name of the new Pokemon game, is only Switch 2 exclusive. So I feel like it's only a matter of time before they stop releasing Switch 1 games. Yeah. Like for Nintendo first party IPs at least, but like indies, yeah, you're set.
Right. Absolutely. Because it really is, like, if you think about it in the most basic of terms, it really is just the same as the Switch 1. Like, if you really like the...
Yeah, I mean...
You know what I mean? It's just like, it's a portable console that you can take wherever you go. And yeah, you're right. The upgrades definitely help it with, like, better graphics and stuff like that. I think what really bogs it down for me is not as much the console, but more so of the release schedule that they've had just starting out with the Switch 2. I mean, day one you just had Mario Kart and you had Bonanza like after like a month after that, yeah. Which is okay, I guess, but it's like it's really been like a slow incline as to what you can get as for like new games for the Switch. Everything else is really just like a port for the Switch 2.
Or an upgrade. Yeah, their release schedule's been a little slow, and I know me and you constantly are like waiting for the next direct to happen, and but it's weird when you think about it, because like in reality, like for me at least, objectively looking at this system launch compared to like other system launches, I mean even the Switch 1, like we actually did get a pretty stacked lineup. Like we got a new Zelda game, like Age of Imprisonment. We got Bonanza, so a 3D, you know, not Mario, but same people who did Mario Odyssey, a 3D Mario universe platforming, whatever you want to call it. A new Donkey Kong game, basically, with Bonanza. We got Mario Kart World, which is definitely a system seller on day one. We got Pokemon. What else did we get for that system? And we got a bunch of
Metroid 4 came out this December.
Yeah, but like Kirby that was Switch Riders. 1. Yeah, Kirby Air Riders. I mean, like, when you look at the Switch 1, all we had was Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, very true.
But, like, as stacked as that lineup was, it just feels whatever.
Yeah.
Like, between our friend group, me, you, and one other of our friends got the Switch 2. No one else is either inclined to get it or wants to get it. Like,
right.
Feels like they need to get it. And it's weird. It's just been such a mixed bag with this system of just meh for me. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like the momentum just kind of was killed. I felt like when the Switch 1 came out, I fell in love with that system. Like, easily top 5 consoles of all time for me, personally. And we've lived through quite a few console generations at this point. But with the Switch 2, I'm just like, I'll pick it up for maybe like a couple weeks and then set it down for longer than I play it. Me personally, just like nothing's there that I haven't already played with my Switch 1 or is like enticing me to play it. Because like you look at a lot of these new games, like excluding Bonanza because that was a great game, but like Mario Kart World, like it's a fun Mario Kart game, but like
it's not worth $80.
No, it's not. Yeah, we'll get to that. The pricing is all over the place with the Switch 2 as well. But there's just nothing to do in that game, like other than the races, and the Knockout Tour is incredibly fun. It's like been the best edition of Mario Kart ever, in my opinion. But like the open world's boring. There's nothing to do in it other than a few missions. I felt the same with Pokemon Legends EA. I was super excited for that game, and like there's nothing to do in the city really other than just battles, and the whole like Z to A rank up system was just kind of cut in half. Sorry for spoilers, but yeah, like the whole premise is not you ranking up from Z to A because like you bypass like 10 letter ranks. Kirby Air Riders looks incredibly fun, but I just haven't gotten around to it. There's just so many thoughts on this console for me. Like I just don't know what to think about it because like on paper it all looks amazing, but I'm just left kind of unsatisfied.
I think maybe we go back to a little bit of what you said in the last episode where you had your gripes with Metroid Prime 4, how it's not really a change of formula, it's a return to formula, and it's not necessarily like you wanted something more refreshing. I think that's maybe something that can be implied for the Switch 2 as a whole. With its, I think more so with the its release lineup. I think the only one that really like switches up the formula of what it is Donkey Kong Bonanza. Everything else is, and then Legends ZA. I think everything else that has come out from it is kind of like pretty much the same of what we've been playing for all these years.
Yeah.
So I think, not to say that like the Switch 2 is like a bad console. It's definitely not. I actually really love the Switch 2. I think it's easy to think that something like that is meh because we've had something like that for the past almost 10 years.
10 years almost, right. Yeah.
I don't think it really needs to change because it's been so like good for that amount of time. But at the same time, you can't help but be like, all right, this is pretty much just my Switch that I've had, but just shinier.
Internals, which is, the funny part of it, because that's what we asked for,
Right.
They're just, I don't know. I have so many mixed thoughts about this Switch too. Like,
I think for me, I've really, over this past like, first like month or two, like into 2026, I've grown to actually reappreciate it a little bit more because I had to get a surgery done, and I've been like bedridden for like 3 weeks, and there was nothing really I could do other than play Switch at that time.
Yeah.
So I got to play a lot of like older games that I never like would have been able to do so without Nintendo Switch Online, which I think the more games that they've been adding to it, the more and more it's become worth the time, or the more the investment is what I mean. So like during that time I was able to like play some good games with like our friend group while I'm bedridden. Like it's just like a great handheld console.
Yeah.
And again, with all of its retro like lineup that it has, like there's so many games that you can play on Nintendo Switch Online for only like, what is it, $50 for
like
for individual. I would say that's well worth the investment.
Yeah, I like how you bring up NSO, Nintendo Switch Online. It is something I do appreciate, not just with the Switch 2, but like overall, because that is one thing I like about the Switch family is it covers like a lot of Nintendo's history. Because like you think about it, it's like, okay, we got a new Metroid Prime 4, but we also got Metroid Prime Remaster on Switch. So it's like you have Metroid Prime 1 and 4, like the start and most recent one. You have all the GameCube games. Well, not all the GameCube games. You have GameCube games, Game Boy Advance games, Game Boy Color games, Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, and Nintendo Entertainment System, like, and now Virtual Boy. So it's like I do like NSO for covering a lot of franchises and history with it. But
did you say GameCube?
Yeah, GameCube.
Oh yeah,
for Switch 2.
I think that kind of like has definitely been helping it as well, because you can only get the GameCube stuff with the Switch 2, which I grew up with a Wii. I've always wanted to play like more of those GameCube games, so I'm really glad with the Switch 2 that I get. While it's still lacking in titles as of right now, as we record, I think it's really exciting for me to be able to play those like older games that I've always wanted to play.
Yeah, it's awesome for people to experience those games that never played them before. I mean, GameCube was my first home console, so I've played most of them. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the pace that they're also adding the games, I think, is just kind of slow.
For sure.
You never know which system is going to get a new game. Like, it's kind of random until they decide to announce it, like the day before it's announced or released. Yeah, NSO has become more of a viable product, I feel, compared to when it first launched with a backlog of games. But I mean, an online subscription can only take you so far. I mean, I'm a big advocate of like physical media, so I don't personally like owning those games through subscription service as much as it's not like, unless you're playing them consistently like game after game and getting your value. It's like I just can't keep up with the huge amount of backlog that service adds. So I mean, it's nice, but it's not something I utilize enough.
I would encourage you to try it out, because you'd be like, I'm sure you've played a lot of those games, way more of those games than I have, like for those retro games, but like you'd be surprised of like what you explore.
Yeah, I've taken a look, and I played Luigi's Mansion like start to finish through NSO. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's like
I played that too this past year, and it was, God, what an incredible game.
Yeah, top 5 Nintendo games of all time for me, at least, just because maybe it was my first one, so I'm a little biased, but I like Luigi's Mansion. Just something about all the other stuff though just like holds the system back for me personally. Like,
I think you can speak to this more than I can, but I wish that they utilized their mouse controls more for this new Switch.
Yeah, or at least better, because I mean, Metroid Prime 4 used it, but I didn't end up using the mouse controls as excited as I was for it. It just wasn't that good to use.
Right. Yeah. The only thing that really relies on the mouse controls is that wheelchair basketball game that they announced during that direct.
I actually bought that game. It was actually not bad. It was kind of fun.
Oh, okay.
Very Nintendo DNA based, like very unique game. It was tiring, constantly like swiping the Joy-Cons on like a flat surface to move the wheelchair, but pretty unique game. And I mean, I know no one plays it anymore, but I had fun for the little bit I played of Drag X Drive.
Because if you compare it to something like Astrobot, which like Astrobot really utilizes the PS5 controllers super, super well.
Yeah.
While that's not really the case with quite a bit of PlayStation's like catalog, like that game really is like, it really carries it on the shoulders of like what the PS5 can do. And I just wish that, or I hope that they'll come out with the game that really like focuses on every single thing that the Switch 2 can possibly bring, especially for those mouse controls. Because if you're gonna advertise for something like that, you want to show off games that makes it like the primary way to control it, rather than just being like, oh, you can use this as well, like on the side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? While with Astrobot, it's like you have to use every single mechanic.
The DualSense, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo's kind of notorious for that, though, right? Like, adding all these... I don't mean this in, like, a negative connotation, but, like, gimmicks, like mouse controls. They really are trying to push this camera that no one wants to buy a $50 add-on for a camera for some games. And, yeah, like, mouse control selectivity in some games. Yeah, I do agree, but like I just feel like Nintendo's just been playing it too safe with the Switch 2, just not really utilizing the console to its fullest, like you said, and just like either making games for both Switch 1 and Switch 2, like just making it Switch 1 based and then like upgrading and porting it to Switch 2, or if they do make it like exclusively for Switch 2, like you said, they're just not utilizing the console to the fullest.
Right. I 100% agree. And you had brought it up before, but I know that everybody was up in arms about this this game key card situation for Switch 2 cartridges.
Very hot topic, yeah.
Very hot topic. The more I researched it, like the more I'm like, it doesn't really seem all that life-changing.
Yeah, I'm in the boat where I tried being as optimistic about game key cards as I possibly can. And I know I'm going to sound hypocritical because I always like advocate for owning your media that you buy, but like in reality, like digital games aren't going anywhere. And I think this is just giving Nintendo options to people who don't want just to buy like a box with just a code in it. Like, so basically, if you don't know, a virtual game key card is like a physical cartridge that you put in your console like you would any other Switch cartridge. But this cartridge only is like capped to like 100 megabytes, I think, just enough to hold like the license saying you own the game. So like whenever you put this cartridge in your system, the system reads it saying, oh, okay, this person bought the game, they own the digital license to this game. But the benefits of it is, if you don't want this digital game, I mean, like, it's a cartridge, but it's still digital. Like, if you don't want this game, you can sell it or give it to someone, and it will give them the license. But they make it tricky to the point where it's like it's very convoluted. Like, yeah, I did some research in it too, and it's like a huge rabbit hole. You'd be kind of surprised. Like, yeah. So the game key cards are capped at 100 megabytes. For the Switch 1, you had different sizes of like 4 gigabytes, 8 gigabytes, 16, 32, and I think maybe 64. I don't know about the Switch 1, but Switch 2 is only capped for like a physical cartridge that's 62 gigabytes per cartridge, which is expensive compared to like discs. So it's like forcing a lot of these companies to use game key cards even if they don't want it. Like, you know, what indie game that's like a couple gigabytes is going to want to spend all this production cost on like a 64 gigabyte cartridge? And I want them to like add different sizes so we can get the best of both worlds. Like you look at Cyberpunk, it fit all of the game in a 64 gigabyte cartridge, but then you look at like something like Street Fighter, where it can't fit on a 64 gigabyte cartridge, or if it can, they just didn't want to optimize it, so they took the cheaper route. Like, it's in a weird spot where you can't get like an ideal scenario for anyone. Right. You either have indie developers that are just suffering, like they give them the two choices, like do the cheaper game key card and give the customer a digital copy of the game and not a physical one, even though the product's physical, or you make them pay like an absurd amount of production cost on like a 64 gigabyte cartridge. But then there's also the benefits of like games that can't fit on a 64 gigabyte cartridge that are like over that, and it's like you give them the option. It's like, okay, put the key on a cartridge so the customer does get technically a physical product, and the game studio can fit it on a cartridge. If that like makes any sense. I know I kind of rambled right there, but
it's a lot. It's like it's simple but not at the same time in a way.
No. And that's why I just wish we would have more options for these like developers, because they're forced to just use game key cards.
And the thing is, like, you can have the game on the game key cartridge, but from my understanding, the actual save data saves onto the system rather than the
either system or cloud.
Right. Yeah, which does eat away at your memory, which does kind of suck.
But I mean, I'm trying to look at it from like a glass half full perspective. Like I said, it's nice to have a physical product in hand and not just a code in a box like some other digital games. But also to sell it if I don't want to play it anymore, or I beat it, or if I want to give it to someone. But like, we never know when the day will come where we look back 10, 15, 20 years and these games aren't playable anymore because like the online services aren't up. Like, I'm not saying it could happen, but like it's a possibility that's always in the back of my head. It's like, I think back to like the 3DS and the Wii. Any digital games I bought off those stores that are now shut down, it's like I can re-download them, but I can't buy new games. Who knows when the day will come where I just can't even download those games anymore. It's like, who knows if that might happen to like game key cartridges too.
Right. And I think to your point, while digital games will always be a thing, I think on the glass half full side of things, physical copies of games are also always going to be a thing because there's always going to be a push for that.
Yeah, but I feel like it's only a matter of time before we just don't have that anymore. Even with like Blu-ray games, like a lot of it's like either most of the games on the disc and you gotta download the rest, or same thing, it's like you're just buying a disc with a license to download the game.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I guess we'll just have to see what the future holds.
I think if that's the case, we are like, I would hope that we're pretty far away from that, because like if you take things that are well beloved in the past, something else that our society runs on is nostalgia, and something like that is always going to survive. Like, take the genre of jazz, for example. That was like really, really big. That was really, really big in like the 20s and stuff. And like as the decades went on, it starts to die down because you have like rock and pop and like all this stuff that becomes into the mainstream. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that jazz went away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's still like very prevalent, and there's still a huge fan base for that genre. Vinyls were huge back in the day.
And they made a comeback, yeah.
And they made a comeback, and it's like that business is booming way more than ever. And I wouldn't be shocked if in the next 5 to 10 years, maybe longer, where there's going to be like a CD renaissance, and people are going to want to.
I mean, I'm part of that because I got an MP3 player.
Right. Yeah.
And I've been burning CDs onto this MP3 player, and that's been fun. But I mean, the game industry is just like a little different. I feel like they've been making this huge push to just make it digital only, so they could save production cost on like making physical products.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, we don't know what the future holds. But like as of right now, the trend's definitely been like digital, digital.
And we can only hope that physical is going to still thrive in a business like this, which I'm feeling pretty optimistic that it will.
I sure hope so.
Me too.
Because I mean, physical will always win because I can still pull out these N64 cartridges or like Xbox 360 or PS3 discs and still play them to this day. So
yeah,
that's why I'm just saying like that. Although it's not going to happen now or anytime soon, it's just something that's always going to be in the back of my head. It's like, how long do I have with this digital product before it's either taken away or just not accessible anymore? I mean, I've seen it with other mediums like TV shows and music. I've personally experienced it where I've bought a digital TV show, and then the company just didn't want to keep the show anymore, and they pulled it off not only streaming but like digital marketplaces, and it's like I couldn't even access content I've bought before. So it's like I just don't want this happening with game key cartridges where you have a physical product and it's just like null and void. You can't even use it.
Right, exactly.
That would just be an even bigger slap in the face to me personally.
Yeah. So if you have any games that you really, really love, you have it on digital, definitely buy a physical copy of it as well. Just that way you don't have to deal with situations like that where you buy a game and then aren't able to play it in the future for whatever reason.
Yeah. Also, another weird thing with digital key cards, like this will lead into our my next point. Something with digital products, it's like I wish they would reflect more closely to like what their value. It's like if companies are gonna start moving away from physical media to save on production costs by doing digital games, like I wish we weren't paying full price that we would for like a physical copy. Like a $60 physical game is the same as a $60 digital game.
Yeah.
You know, that's just like a side thing. I wish like we would get away from like making digital games the same as physical games, like make one less than the other.
Right. I wholeheartedly agree with that. If I'm gonna save the time, to be able to buy something online, which takes way more hassle, and I mean, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but like cheaper to be able to do it digitally, then I should be able to get that at a cheaper price.
Yeah. Basically where I was leaning into that was, I think another thing I don't like about the Switch 2 is the pricing structure, which I think you brought up a little bit for a sec too. It's like the Switch 2 has just been kind of all over the place with like its pricing. Like even with NSO, it's like we have $60 games, we have $70 games, we now have $80 games. The upgrades for the Switch 2, some are free, some are $10, some are $20. It's just all over the place, and I don't even think Nintendo knows what direction they want to take the system in. And I feel like it's mainly because they're, as much as like we like Nintendo, I just can't help but think like Nintendo is just like slowly inching this bar forward. It's like, how much could we actually get out of people that buy these games? Because I mean, it's true, as much as people want to deny, like Nintendo fans will pretty much pay anything for anything,
which really sucks, because I mean, as a Nintendo fan myself, I am never going to pay $80 for Mario Kart.
It's just too much. Yeah,
no, it's way too much for
especially for the product you get. Yeah, but yeah, it's like their pricing is all over the place. Like the upgrade pack to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, that was free through NSO. Like you got that free through NSO. Some upgrade packs are $5, some upgrade packs are $10, some upgrade packs are $20. Like Animal Crossing Switch 2 edition was a $5 upgrade. That's honestly fine. Like it's not something we're not used to with like PS4 to PS5 upgrades and stuff like that. So that argument like people make, I think, is a little weird.
But you'd think that you would, not to interrupt you, but you would think that those upgrades would still be available free for NSO Online members, because if you're not a member, it's like $10 for each upgrade for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't really make sense for them to charge us $5 when we're members. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and I was getting to that point. Kinda, it's like I wish they would just make more upgrade packs free through NSO for people who stick with the service. But like I said as well, it's not something I'm not used to with like PS4 to PS5 upgrades, but I do get the side of people that say, well, I paid for the upgrade itself with the console, like Switch 1 to Switch 2 with the upgrade specs. Like these games should be upgraded for free, and like it's just all over the place. Like some are free, some are paid, and I also don't like what they do with some games, like for instance, like Kirby, what's the 3D Kirby open world game?
Forgotten Land.
Forgotten Land. Like, you can upgrade that to a Switch 2 edition, but the only way you can do that is by buying the DLC bundle, which is $20. So it's like, in reality, like, you're paying $60 for the game and then like $20 for the upgrade. So in the end, you're paying $80, and they do that with Mario Party Jamboree. It's like you can only get the Switch 2 upgrade if you buy the DLC with it, which is $20. Like, they gotta just make some standardized rule. Like, if this game is a certain amount of years old, like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, like the upgrade will be free through NSO. Or if it's a newer game and you want to upgrade, like it's gonna be $5 max, and like you can buy the DLC separately, because their pricing is just all over the place right now, and it's pretty confusing, not only to me, who is like a Nintendo gamer, but I can only imagine for like people who don't have either console,
right,
or just are not as nuanced with this kind of stuff.
I feel like I feel like with the pricing, they just take like a D20. It's like, all right, how much are we going to charge for this upgrade?
It's just all
DLC?
over the place. It's so random. Yeah.
Just roll dice to see what number they get, and they're like, all right, the dice says $8. We got to charge $8.
Yeah, that's the price we're sticking to. Yep, just go with it.
Sure, $8 is a really weird number. Nope. The dice says.
Yep,
the
that's
dice
what
says.
The dice said.
We got to do 8.
Yeah, this console generation's just been all over the place, which I felt like kind of killed the momentum for me, personally. I just the excessive amount of money. I know we said we're not bringing like up politics and current world issues, but it's just hard to ignore that, cost of living is just so much that, sometimes even I have to make the choice of like, do I want to spend $70-$80 on a game this week, or do I want to put that toward groceries? Like, it's just becoming too expensive, and I think the Switch 2 has been kind of pushing that more than anything. Mm-hmm. Like, we look at Amiibos now, and they're $40. Remember when Amiibos were like $10 each?
Yeah.
$40 for a little figure is too much for me, personally.
Yeah.
Just, I understand. It's such a weird debate because I understand both sides of like every single argument of this new console.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of valid arguments to be made. I think if we were to rank it on a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably give the Switch 2 as a whole, with like hardware and releases with it, I would probably give it maybe a 7.
Yeah.
That would probably be mine.
Yeah, it'd be around like 6 or 7 out of 10. Mm-hmm. No 6-7 jokes intended. Please.
I really tried to. I withheld it. I wasn't going to do it.
Please. Can we put this meme to rest? But yeah, I've just been kind of left underwhelmed with this system so far. But I've had my moments where I enjoy it. It's just not been as long lasting as the Switch One. What the Switch One has been for me.
Yeah, I think hopefully with this next year they'll come out with some good. With some good heavy hitters. That is a little teaser for the secret topic that we'll have.
Oh, excellent.
Later today.
Yeah, I mean, across the board, just like on paper, we have been getting heavy hitters, but you look at the reviews, it's just all been like 7 out of 10s for all these games, like rated. Yeah, they've just been kind of underwhelming.
That's valid. To what you said, I mean, if we're ready to move on, as you had said earlier, today is Pokemon Day.
Today is indeed Pokemon Day.
So a happy Pokemon Day to all 2 of our listeners.
It's very generous. I think you meant to say 1.
Yeah, it's the one. It's the
me
one.
Listening back to it, editing it.
I was gonna say there's the off chance of like some guy in Ohio just using it as background noise.
Shout out to you, random Ohio man.
Yes, and happy Pokemon Day to that guy. Tuan and I have been huge Pokemon fans ever since
the womb. Since out of the womb.
Since the womb.
I have pictures of me when I was either like 2 or 3, I don't even remember, having like Pokemon cards and like Pikachu slippers. So it's like it's been a part of my life ever since I was an infant.
Yeah, I definitely started much later than you did. I think I was on like the playground. I was like 8, and all these kids were like showing each other Pokemon cards. I was like, "Whoa, I want one of those!" And I can vividly remember the day that I like opened my very first pack. I was in my grandmother's church that she worked at, and like she bought me a pack, and I opened them, and it was like my first 10 cards, and she got me like a binder, and I was like, wow, and I just just put them all in there, and the phrase is gotta catch them all, and I really took that to heart. It took me 15 years to collect them all, but I did. But game wise, I know your first was Fire Red, or at least like it was yellow. It was yellow. Mine wasn't till like way like till Generation 4, so Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah, really shouting out my age right there. Yellow came out before I was even born, but yeah, it was a hand-me-down. with the Game Boy, and that's what introduced me to Pokemon as far as my earliest memory of like knowing what Pokemon was yeah, Game Boy Color, a purple Game Boy Color with Pokemon Yellow. I will never forget it. But I mean, like, in terms of like first game that I actually knew what I was doing and like knew what was kind of going on was Fire Red for Game Boy Advance. I got that when I was 5, I think.
Which that's now on Switch 2.
It did release today on Switch 2, and I've been playing it.
How is it on Switch 2?
It's Fire Red and Leaf Green. It's nice to go back to them.
Yeah. See, I haven't really truly played it because I played on the PokeMMO, so it's like fairly authentic, but not exactly. So I might pick it up at some point and give it a more normal try.
Was meant for me, you know. Like, I'm that target audience where I didn't care how much it was, or if I've played it a billion times, or if I already own these games on Game Boy Advance. Still, like, I still picked it up.
Right. It's kind of weird to be able to know where to start. But
there's so much we could talk about Pokemon, but I mean, do you want to talk about the presents today? For the little that there is to talk about,
I think we can get to that. I think I want to start with the net positives of like what we love about Pokemon and how that's evolved throughout the years. I think from generations like 1 to 5, for me personally, I think they were like really...
It's considered the golden age of Pokemon games.
Oh, absolutely. Like 4 and 5 are like my absolute favorites, because like 4 was my first one, and then 5 was like my first like new one where they like introduced all new Pokemon and you could only play with new Pokemon.
Yeah.
5 is hands down my favorite. I love like all the designs of that generation are absolutely incredible. And I think, you know, I mean, like just with Generation 5, let me glaze Gen 5 a little bit. Gen 5, like, fantastic Pokemon. Probably the best story that Pokemon has ever done.
I agree.
In my opinion, the graphics for the time were really well done for like the over the top 2D sprite game. The animations of the Pokemon were great. I loved all the characters. There really wasn't a dull moment in those games.
No.
And I think that's what's really cool about Pokemon. It's like, you know, I mean, as little boys, like, little boys are gonna love like really cool like little monsters, and those are pretty cool things. Like Charizard, pretty cool little monster.
I mean, you combine battling dinosaurs basically at its core,
and you can,
with the first games with children, like, it's gonna be a hit.
And you're telling me that I can put that in my pocket wherever I go?
Yep.
I can have a dragon in my pocket? Sign me up. Sign me up.
It's a very addicting gameplay loop at its core, like catching everything, battling, getting stronger, evolving, trading with friends, battling with friends. Yeah, it's addicting.
And it's addicting, and I think it's a lot of the times when I don't know what I want to play, I will always go back to Pokemon, and it's just something I can turn my brain off and just level up, battle. Like, I always try to get all my Pokemon to level 100, so that's always going to be like the grind for me. But it's just like, it's like repetitive in a good way and a lot of fun. And then when you go into like Gen 6 through now, it's the, you know, because we always wanted like that transition into 3D, because on paper that sounds incredible, and then when they translated it was kind of lackluster. I mean, like, the story for like X and Y was like decent. I didn't mind it.
I did not like it at all. I think X and Y was my least favorite Pokemon game.
Yeah.
Of all time.
Yeah. That's valid. I would probably, it's either that or Scarlet and Violet for me.
I think I'd rate Scarlet and Violet more than X and Y personally.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, because like, that's like the least amount of Pokemon that they ever came out. There was only like 60 of them.
60, yeah.
So it just kind of felt like that Pokemon was running out of ideas at that point. Like, they also muted the colors of all like the previous Pokemon. It just made it look like dull.
Yeah, lifeless.
Yeah,
for a lot of them with 3D animations and figure.
Right. Because like, I mean, another game that I really loved as a kid was, like, the stadium games. Like, especially for me, Battle Revolution, where if you battle in that game, like, all the, like, animations of the Pokemon are so unique to that Pokemon.
Yeah.
And just watching them, that's what makes it really fun to play those games, because when you fight with them, like, each one has a personality, especially in that game.
Yeah.
And then you go to, like, X and Y and stuff, and they just kind of, like, it's the same, like, idle animation, but they just maybe, like, twirl around or, like, shake or...
I mean, yeah, it's been pretty much the same from X and Y to Sword and Shield.
Mm-hmm.
Like, same animations, same models. They didn't change much, but yeah, I mean, like, I think back then it's a little tricky talking about, because, like, we were still kids, so seeing, like, Pokemon brought from Diamond and Pearl to, like, the big screen TV, and, like, even if you're older, you know, bringing, like, the Game Boy Color games and Game Boy Advance games to Gale of Darkness and Coliseum and the original stadiums, like, it was a much bigger transition. And you know, having those games just solely be about battling gave them a lot of time to, like, focus on working on animation work and modeling. But I think just it's hard looking at it from that perspective back then, because it was just like a huge jump to see, like, 2D sprites go to 3D sprites for us as kids, compared to as we get older. It's just like it's always been the norm of having, like, 3D animated work long before Pokemon even made the switch, where it just kind of felt, like, underwhelming when it finally did.
Right. Yeah. I will say they made it a bit better when Sun and Moon rolled around. It felt a lot more, I don't know, like, color wise, it felt a lot more brighter. And I enjoyed those games way more than.
I love Sun and Moon. Definitely underrated.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's for a game series that's 30 years old. It's taken some interesting avenues over the past 13 years.
Yeah, and long time to get with the program.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so stagnant on, like, revolutionizing, like, the gameplay and, like, the game itself. Like, I felt like the last big shake-up we've gone to a Pokemon game was Legends Arceus. And that was, I mean, when was X and Y? 2016? Oh, 13? Wow. Okay,
yeah, I know.
I'm really behind on that.
Sun and Moon was 2016.
Yeah, you're right. So, like, to have that long of a gap before, like, we got, like, a huge, like, main shake-up to a Pokemon game that felt fresh, that's just, like, too long for me. Like, I think today I kind of had, like, the realization that it's, like, I think I just might have to accept that, like, Pokemon is just not for me as much as it is for kids nowadays. Like, I just kind of have to lower my expectations with Pokemon games. I still enjoy them. They're, like, comfort food at the end of the day. But I think today was, like, the realization where it's just, like, I don't think I'm the target audience for these games anymore, and I just kind of have to either accept that and just be okay with what comes out, or just put these games behind me. Like, I've been noticing it more and more. It's like each Pokemon game is, like, harder for me to finish. Like, I didn't even finish ZA. Like, I got a third of the way or maybe halfway done, and I just, like, kind of lost all motivation to play it.
Yeah, I still have to play that one. I was watching my roommate play that a few months ago. Yeah, and it actually looked really fun. But I get what you're saying. I mean,
but yeah, and that was, like, another game where, like, it had a big shake-up with, like, real-time battling, and I know that's something, like, people have been asking for. It feels more in line with, like, the show, but, like, that was it. That was all that game brought, and I just didn't feel like it was enough to keep me invested.
Yeah, it's so funny because, like, not to sound like a geezer, but like back in my day, you know,
back in my day,
they had, like, some other stuff that you could do in those games other than battle, or like you remember contests?
Yeah,
there's contests. I mean, if you look at some of, like, the spin-off stuff, there's, like, Pokemon Rangers.
Yeah, we don't get many spin-off games anymore either. I mean, we got Pokemon Snap, which is, I feel like, was the last console spin-off, but nowadays they're all just mobile apps.
Yeah, right.
We'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah. But yeah, we're like for something like ZA or Arceus, it's like it's so funny how they're like, yeah, we don't know what else to add other than battling and like fetch quests or whatever. But like with all the stuff that they've done in the past, like for like gimmicks and stuff, like you could add that into some of these like spin-off or like mainline games. Like bring Rangers back. That would be cool to bring Rangers back and like just have them like catch Pokemon in need or whatever. Or like contests like were pretty cool. Like you can like being able to like dress up your Pokemon how like imagine you being able to dress up your Pokemon like how the skins look in like Pokemon Unite. I think that would be pretty sick.
Yeah. I mean, you brought up Black and White. You were able to shoot movies with Pokemon.
Yeah, that's right.
They're just movies. Like they don't make like interesting like side content in these games anymore. It's just like I look at like Scarlet and Violet, and like what was the main side thing you can do in that game? Make sandwiches. It's a frustrating game series to talk about because like Pokemon is the #1 franchise in the world. Not just the United States, the world. Like, it makes in crazy amounts of money, and I know not all this money goes to the games, but like you got to think about like the merchandise, cards, show, anything. Like Pokemon covers so many different types of product, but like it's just so frustrating seeing like honestly the games get the least amount of attention nowadays.
Right.
Like. Have you seen the budget for Legends EA? It was like under 20 million, which like yes, that is a lot of money, but like when you look at other games that are made, like that's nothing. Like they put in minimal amount of resources to make like a bare bones product nowadays. Me personally, that's just how I see it. Like Pokemon can and always will be like an amazing game to play, but like it could always be so much more and like so much better compared to like some other games that are just like doing so much better than it. But like no one's gonna give anyone the time of day to these different games because they're not called Pokemon.
Right. Well, they used to work hand in hand with Nintendo, and they still kind of do, but they're way more independently working and refuse help from Nintendo nowadays, from what I understand.
Oh yeah, they're very stubborn on like hiring people. Like they have a very small development team.
Yeah. So I mean, you could make the argument and say like, yeah, I mean, we're like in our mid-20s, so like, yeah, there's an argument.
20s, buddy. But I appreciate
that's
the
what
compliment.
I meant. It's totally what I meant. So I guess yeah, that does beg the question of like, is that something that we're too old for, or is it just
until Pokemon wants to take their game seriously for me? Yeah, I'm just kind of in the audience where I'm might be too old to be invested in Pokemon games nowadays as much as I used to be, because I'm sure like any kid nowadays will pick up their first Pokemon game. It could be ZA, it could be Wind and Wave coming out, and it's like it will be a crazy adventure and like a revolutionary game for them, like the Game Boy and DS games were to us.
Yeah.
But I just felt like as I got older and I've experienced more games, it just lackluster and just not with the times compared to most other games.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like a mixed bag. Like you could make that argument, but at the same time, to what you were saying, like they're the most profitable franchise on the planet, and the fact that they're being too stubborn to have like a company like Nintendo, who they've been working with for years, like not help them, like that's kind of on them, and they could like make it better. I mean, like Scarlet and Violet got like, I mean, it wasn't the best reviewed.
No, it was a very poorly optimized game.
Right.
And just was kind of a big open world of nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess, yeah, you can make a point of like, yeah, we could be too old, but like they could also be better at the same time, because like they really do market it for everybody.
Everyone.
For us when we were kids, like to how we are now, and then like the like kids nowadays, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It is a game series that could be for everyone, but they just don't want to put in the effort, in my eyes.
They market it for everybody, but they, exactly as you said, they don't really put in the time to be able to do that.
Because they know people will buy it, and I am one of those people. I'll still buy every Pokemon game. I won't enjoy it as much as I used to, but I'll still buy it and play it. But like, I still,
I'm a glutton for punishment. I'll do it.
I still feel validated when I say that, like, they've just been underwhelming year after year for me, in my opinion. And it's just like, Pokemon needs to take this next step and like actually become like a game that's made for like the 2020s.
Yeah.
And not just stuck 10 years in the past.
Right.
And, you know, who knows, maybe Winds and Waves can be that game. It looks promising. It looks like it's a big step up, like, graphically and scale-wise, but, like, we'll never know until we see it, because, like, when I saw Scarlet and Violet, I was like, yes, like, this is the big step Pokemon needs, like, a big open-world game, lots of places to explore and roam, and, like, free-roaming Pokemon, but, like, when you play Scarlet and Violet, it's not what it seems like it was on trailers.
It seems videos. Like pretty lonely in that. I felt pretty lonely.
It was like a big open world that you could explore nothing. Like, what I like about the old Pokemon games is, as minuscule as they was in like graphics and like modern, you know, technology. Like, it was just a 2D game. Like, you could actually like go explore like towns. You could actually go in buildings and go and talk to NPCs. Like, Legends ZA, like, you can only go in like a few select buildings. Like, you're in this whole city and you can only go in like a couple buildings, and the ones you can go in, there's like nothing in them, as long as it felt realistic in the sense of the game that it was made in. Same with Scarlet and Violet. Like, you go into these big towns and there's nothing in these towns. Like, there's shops you can enter, but it then just takes you to like a screen of text of like items you can buy or things you can do. It's like, it's just not immersive for the open worlds they're trying to push.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, going to like the Pokemon Direct today.
Before we get into the Direct, you want to cut to our first break, actually?
Sure, yeah. We'll take a break and then we'll talk about the Pokemon Direct.
All right, we will be back momentarily. Welcome back, everyone. We ended off with going to talk about Pokemon Presents today, because today is Pokemon Day. Another Pokemon Presents of kind of nothing. Like, I don't want to be negative, but it was just kind of lackluster, which is, like, I think a theme we've just been kind of reiterating with Pokemon. It's just like,
did we mention that we love Pokemon?
Yeah, I love it, dude. I play every single one of them. But side note, I think we're critical because, like we said before the break, Pokemon can be so much more, and we know it can be so much more, and it just kind of comes out of a place of love for the series. Like, we want it to be better, and we want to see it grow and be the big game it can be. So that's why we're kind of critical of these things. Like, but we'll fill it in with some optimism and positivity, don't worry. But yeah, another Pokemon Presents kind of filled with nothing, to be honest. Like, how the Presents went was, it started off with a nice little trailer, kind of, you know, recapping the last 30 years of Pokemon, and, you know, a little touching. Maybe not as touching as, I think it was the 20th anniversary. Remember that trailer where it showed the kid playing the Game Boy under the blanket, playing Red, and then, you know, him growing up through it and seeing the whatever game was out at the time, and the Sun and Moon, I think it was.
Yeah, I think so.
On the store shelves. Like, that honestly, not even gonna lie, made me tear up when I saw that trailer. But, like, nice little, you know, commemorative trailer to celebrate the 30th year of Pokemon. Then we got an announcement for this cute little jukebox Game Boy that, like, played sound clips of the game, like the music of the game,
which is not not really needed.
Yeah, it's like kind of cool, but like if this Direct was filled with a lot of stuff, with that thrown in there, it'd be different. But yeah, that was the first announcement. Then they rattled off, as they usually do, Pokemon, World Championship where it's going to be held, and like the artwork, which is always kind of cool to see. And then they fired off the mobile ads, like they do every year, and you see the memes come through. It's like every Pokemon fan waiting for the mobile ads to finish to get to the real announcements.
Which we've talked about several times before, how like, I mean, me personally, I've really just always, I think for the past like few years now, I've just gone into the presentation with like no expectations whatsoever, because just we know that it's now just going to be the same formula every goddamn time.
Yeah, it's literally to a beat the same thing. Here's your announcement of the World Championship. Here's your announcement of all the mobile games. Literally,
here's your new Pokemon / trainer for this mobile game that we have.
Yeah, Masters EX.
Yeah, Masters EX, Cafe, Unite. I mean, I do really like Unite.
Yeah, we went through a small phase where we were playing Unite, but it still falls under that mobile slot.
It's like we know that it's going to happen. It's like we always know that a farming simulator is going to come up in every
Nintendo Direct.
Direct, but at least they mix it up with a bunch of other stuff.
Cool games. Yeah, without a doubt, you're going to see Pokemon Go, Pokemon TCG Pocket now, Pokemon Cafe, Pokemon Sleep, Pokemon Eat, Pokemon
the regular TCG.
Brush Your Teeth. Which, yes, remember when that was announced, Pokemon Smile.
Yeah. God, I can't wait for Pokemon Lobotomy coming out later next year.
Pokemon Masters, they fired them off, and I was like, in the back of my head, I was trying to be. We always have this conversation every Pokemon Presents where I'm like, dude, there's going to be something amazing announced in this. And you're like, oh, I have my expectations checked. And you know what? Every Presents, you're right. So in the back of my head, I was like, oh, sweet. They're just kind of getting these out of the way. Hopefully there's some big announcements. With them announcing Fire Red and Leaf Green a week before, I was like, okay, like, if they're already dropping like the serious big announcement before the presents even happens, like there's got to be something big in this.
Why didn't they save that for the presentation? That would have made it so much better.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So I was just trying to be like I am every presents, like optimistic for some big announcements, even if it's like remakes like ports of like old games, or even remakes, like when's the Black and White remake, please. Nintendo.
I'm scared for that.
Yeah, I know. After BDSP, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and then after that we got the trailer showing the new Pokemon set, which we really didn't see much of compared to other presents. We just saw Mew and Mewtwo. Cool. Yeah. We didn't even get to see any artwork. Of the
I wish they would have shown more.
Yeah.
For that.
Kind of a letdown for the Pokemon cards, but then we got a kind of nice spot for the 30th celebration packs, like they did with the 25th celebration.
Yeah. I'm really excited for those to come out. I hope they come out with some good stuff.
It's like reprints of old popular cards that I mean it's going to be scalped, unfortunately. Like the Pokemon card scene right now is crazy, and you know more than I do about this.
Yeah, I need to do a little bit more research on it because I don't entirely understand how it works, but it does seem like there is a positive turnaround happening with the TCG, where I think they swapped companies of how they handle distribution. So hopefully that's going to fix the scalping issue.
Yeah, we can sure hope so. But as of lately, it's been bad for these past few years. But overall, like I loved the last set they did. I actually pulled the base Charizard.
Yeah, you sent me a picture of that, and that was insane.
Yeah, it's like I have the original Charizard, the OG, and I pulled it from that celebration set, and it brought back a lot of warm memories. After that, we got the showcase of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, which is awesome to see come to the Switch 2 finally.
I am so excited to play that game.
But also, like, kind of bitter because, like, they showed it off. We know it was coming because they showed it in the Direct for the Switch 2 launch. And then it just said coming March of 2026, which, yes, March is next week, but it could be any point at the month. But also, like, you just kind of lost the momentum not releasing it today on the anniversary of Pokemon.
Right. Well, I mean, I get them not doing that on the day of because they were already doing that with Fire Red and Leaf Green, so they want time for that to like make its due.
But
like
it's Pokemon fans we're talking about. Like they'll
should
eat it all up.
Yeah, they should at least.
I'll eat it all up.
Yeah, nom nom. Give me. And then they should have at least given like some kind of release date. Like if you told me that it was coming like March 12th, for example, then I'd be like, cool, great. I'll wait 3 weeks to do that. Just like if it's in March, that's literally like 2 days from now. Just give me a date.
I know we've been waiting almost 7 months, but I don't know. I'm in the other boat. Where it's like this should be a day of celebrating like the franchise. Like they should have released it today, in my opinion. Like what's some couple week difference gonna do? Like I know I would be enjoying both games today. Honestly, I love XD Gale of Darkness, but it just kind of was bittersweet seeing like it was finally coming out, but not today on like Pokemon's actual birthday. And the same thing with Champions, which I know a lot of people are looking forward to because there's a huge scene for like competitive battling. They're like, oh, that's coming in April. It's like another thing we already knew was coming, but didn't come out today. Like when you look at, sorry to like sidetrack and cut you off a little bit.
No, you're totally good.
You look at Sony state of plays or like other big game studio state of plays, like this random announcement that comes out of nowhere. They're like, oh, and it's gonna release today. Like, do you know how much publicity that gets? Like, I think of I know it's not anywhere near what Pokemon is in terms of relevancy, but like remember when they shadow dropped Oblivion out of nowhere?
Yeah.
And people were like crazy that game launched. Like, I wish Nintendo would take this note and the Pokemon company would take this note. Like, hit us with this hard announcement and then drop it. Like, like they could have done that with Fire Red and Leaf Green today rather than announce it a week before.
You know what extra annoyed me about the Direct was they had a whole trailer just to announce Garchomp Z for the DLC.
Yeah.
Which we already know was in the game. I thought they were just literally going to be like, oh my god, we're getting like one extra mega. That's awesome. Yeah. And then he just showed him. I was like, are you serious? I already knew this was happening.
Like the DLC's already been out. I don't know why they were showing stuff that we already knew, but that's the theme of Pokemon Presents lately, just showcasing stuff that we already know is coming. And then the next announcement was Pokemon Pokopia, which honestly, the more I'm seeing in this game, the more I'm kind of on board. It looks a lot of fun. At first, I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
But now that I've seen more and more, I'm like getting kind of excited for it. I don't know if I'll pick it up day one, but it's as I saw it, not only do I like Animal Crossing a lot, but in Minecraft, but now it's like Pokemon themed. It's like this is like a perfect opportunity for me to get my my girlfriend into Pokemon more because she's not the biggest Pokemon fan.
Be like, hey, do you know how much you love Animal Crossing? But here it is, but now Pokemon. See?
Just play this with me.
So now you can play the game.
Play it.
Play the game. And then after Pokemon Pokopia, we got the big, heavy-hitting announcement to close it out. Pokemon Gen 10 Winds and Waves. Which I'm so okay with them it not coming till 2027 because that just gives them more time for them to cook on it and polish it in the way that the fans will want.
Yeah, I mean,
it already looks great from the trailer.
Let's highlight some positives because I don't want this all being negative. Like, yes, first thing, it's coming in 2027. Who knows when that could be? That could be literally December 2027. So we could be waiting up to 2 years to get this game, which is fine by me. Like,
I agree.
Any extra time they can take to make this game better is perfectly fine with me. The game looks pretty good for once, graphically and like scale and size. Like the water physics look pretty dope. Like it looks like a pretty living.
The water looks crazy.
Ocean and island archipelago. Scene. The models for Pokemon look pretty decent from what we were shown in the trailer. I mean, they've been getting better with like their modeling and animation. I know we kind of harped on it before the break, but yeah, like you look at Scarlet and Violet and Z. One thing I liked about Scarlet and Violet with their Pokemon models was like the realistic textures they had. Like Pokemon actually looked like they had fur or were made out of metal and like reflected. So I was like, okay, that's a good step in the right direction. Legend ZA kind of made Pokemon more realistic in terms of size.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought each Pokemon fit to their size and like were realistic in the way that they would be in like a real world scenario. Yeah, like I'm kind of excited for this. You know, like I would like to see more, but overall, what I first saw of the Gen 10 was looking pretty good for once. Like it actually is now looking like they are taking a step in the right direction of making like a true open world Pokemon game. But then they showed the starters. Personally, I don't know how I feel about the starters. I know you can't please everyone, but not a big fan of the starters. But yeah, overall, from what I saw from Gen 10 trailer, it looked promising, and I hope they can actually deliver for once, and I don't have to have another year of saying, oh man, I said that last game, but it wasn't delivered like Scarlet and Violet.
Right, yeah. I don't know if you saw in the trailer, but there was a cloud somewhere that was in the shape of a serpent.
Serpent, yeah.
Which is definitely going to be teasing one of the box arts, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, I wish we got some look at the legendaries. That would have been cool.
Yeah. I thought they were going to when they bring you underwater towards the end of the trailer.
Can we bring that back? Like, I'm so excited to bring back underwater exploration from Hoenn. It's been a long time since we've had a too much water complaint in Pokemon. But yeah, that looks sick. Like I said, like it actually looks like a living, breathing ecosystem like Pokemon would live in, which I'm all for. That was pretty cool. Hopefully, maybe we get like some sort of Tears of the Kingdom treatment where we get like an above ground level where it's all the islands and everything in between, like caves, forests, volcanoes, mountains, whatever. And then we get the underwater level, like underneath the surface with, you know, diving and all that stuff. And then I'd like to hope that the names imply, you know, waves being underneath water and winds being above the islands, kind of like Tears of the Kingdom, like some explorable area in the sky too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Pokemon has done that before with like X and Y, where it's like if you're fighting with a bird Pokemon, like both of them will be in the sky fighting.
Yeah.
And then with like it was kind of a similar situation with water Pokemon, but not really. So I think that would be really cool if they implemented that, where it's like how you fight in the environment with in like Scarlet and Violet, they do that for winds and waves. Like it would be so cool to just be like underwater with like some scuba gear and just like sending your like Magikarp to go fight a Wailord. That will work well for you.
I'm not talking about like battling per se. I'm talking about like areas to explore.
Yeah.
Like in Tears of the Kingdom, how you got, you know, the depths, and then you got Hyrule, and then you got the Sky Islands.
Yeah.
You have like 3 layers. I hope Pokemon does something similar like that.
Right, yeah. I wholeheartedly agree with that.
What'd you think of the starters?
You know, I thought it's really funny because you said that they look like more like Pal World creatures than Pokemon.
They kind of do,
which I totally see. But as we had talked about before we recorded this, we had both seen a art where it's like they're putting these new starters together with all the other ones from previous generations, and when you kind of like put them together with it makes a little bit more sense in the world of Pokemon. I think the only one that still doesn't really fit is Brout, the grass starter. Like I would say that's like the worst of the 3, and then the best is Gekwa. I think I'm in love with Gekwa because it's like, is it the best design? No, but it's almost like it's almost like a so bad it's good kind of design almost, where I had made the comparison of like it looks like a Littlest Pet Shop lizard toy.
Yeah, I saw a lot of videos of that. I like Gekwa too. I think it looks the closest to an actual Pokemon.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall I wasn't too thrilled with the beginning starter evolution designs, but like, you know, that could change with like the final evolutions.
Right.
really like them.
That's what it really boils down to at the end for those. It's like, are the final evolutions going to be cool?
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people always wait on is like, what do the final evolutions look like? Yeah, overall, kind of underwhelming presents overall, other than that big announcement and getting Fire Red and Leaf Green.
Yeah, I was definitely a little bit more excited for this presents because you would think for it being the 30th anniversary they were going to go harder.
Yeah,
on that,
and also to add, compared to last presents, which was just kind of like a follow up, giving more information of ZA and not like. I mean, they even kind of acknowledged it. They're like, hey, like, this presents is mainly just going to be kind of focused on showcasing ZA and like a few small things, like an updates on games we already announced. But it's just like to get this reoccurring again, like, was just kind of
right,
a little upsetting.
Like, it's the 30th anniversary. I would hope that they make it a lot more personal, like how they did with, as you were saying, with the 20th anniversary. If they had just added a trailer where it's just like this kid like grew up with Pokemon, like you see him as a kid and then an adult playing with like his kid with Pokemon, if that was just the trailer for like Pokemon as a franchise, I would have been totally okay with it, because it at least adds some sentiment rather than just being like going through the motions as they've been doing for these past few directs, where they're just like, okay, here is all the updates for all of our apps, and like, oh, here's one new thing that we're working on, and then thank you for watching. It's always, it never exceeds like a half hour of announcements.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like, it doesn't feel personal. Like, I just wanted to pull up right here, like what other previous presents did, and like looking at the 20th anniversary, if I can find it, like you look back to some other presents and they were actually like stacked with announcements. Like, I'm looking at the 20th now. It's like we got Pokken Tournament. Pokemon Go.
I miss Pokken Tournament.
Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. Pokemon Rumble World. We had the announcement of Pokemon Sun and Moon, and we had the announcement of Pokemon Red, Green, Blue, and Yellow. Like, that is a stacked anniversary and kind of like a love letter to the anniversary of Pokemon. And it's like, now it's like we got one port of a GBA game, which is cool to see, and then like an announcement for a new game. It's just like doesn't compare to like what they used to be and like what they would announce.
Yeah, for sure. To end it on a more high note for the series, because again, we want to reiterate that we love Pokemon so much, and we
just want the best for it.
Absolutely. And with how the new games are looking, I am feeling pretty optimistic of the way that these new games could possibly turn out. I feel like they've learned from, I'm hoping that they've learned from their mistakes from Scarlet and Violet. It seems like they're taking a lot more time with this one. It's going to be like literally 5 years out from Scarlet and Violet.
That's crazy to think about, yeah.
Which they've never done before. The most that they've ever done was, I think, between Diamond and Pearl and Black and White. That was like a 4-year gap.
Well, we had Platinum in between.
Oh, that's right. You're right. So yeah, I guess, either way, this is like the longest gap between mainline Pokemon games that we've ever had.
I think the Legends games are considered mainline too, but even then, that was a 3-year gap and now 2-year gap. So yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So, and like, the starters could look better in their final evolutions, hopefully. I'm very excited to see what other Pokemon designs we'll see, if we'll see like a good full roster of new Pokemon.
Yeah, I'd like to see what new Pokemon they've made for this region.
Right, because like, I will say with Scarlet and Violet, that one was a very like hit or miss generation, where it's like there's either ones in there that I absolutely love, or there's ones that I despise incredibly, because you have like something, I don't know what's one that I really, Skeledirge is an incredibly designed Pokemon. I love him to death. And then you have the Dunsparce, the copy and paste ass Pokemon.
Yeah. Yeah, Scarlet and Violet kind of had probably the least amount of Pokemon I liked from a new roster perspective. Like, I think I even liked more X and Y Pokemon, and that was a smaller lineup of new Pokemon.
Yeah.
More than Scarlet and Violet.
What do you think the gimmick this time around is going to be? So far, again, staying on that optimistic mindset, I'm hopeful that this will be a good gimmick, because it's with their gimmicks for the past 10 years, it's kind of been hit or miss. So like Mega Evolution was the best part of X and Y. Absolutely love Mega Evolution.
Yep. Best part to bring it back as a mainline feature in ZA. Right.
And I mean, I would say it's like the best gimmick like that they've made ever, like out of all the other ones that they've followed up with. Z moves were whatever.
Yeah.
Then Gigantamax, I did not love them nearly as much as Mega Evolutions, but it was fun. I liked Gigantamax Pokemon.
And then Terra.
And then
which I have mixed feelings about Terra Pokemon, because like in terms of like gameplay, it's really cool. It's like you can change your typing on the fly.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is a sick concept, but the way they look just doesn't.
Where they put this big party hat on their dumb head.
Yeah, it does not look great. I'm sure a lot of people have seen the meme of Persian with the ring pop on its head. Yeah, like they could have made the Pokemon like actually crystallized. I think that would have been much cooler than what we got with like the element on top of their head floating. It doesn't look great, but like gameplay wise, it was a cool feature.
Right, for sure.
I mean, who knows what they would give us for a new gimmick, honestly. Like, I'd like to see just some come back, like, or if not all, if they don't want to do a new gimmick, like, just give us, like, Mega Evolution, Z moves, and Terras, maybe not Gigantamax, because that just wouldn't make sense, but...
I will say that I do miss having the international Pokédex. I understand that they can't have it because there's so many Pokemon now, but God, do I miss it.
Yeah, like a full Pokédex, yeah.
But I digress. The only thing I could think of that comes to my mind that I think could possibly be really cool is fusions, because because we see that in like some of the fan games that people have made, and there's some really cool ones out there, and
they've already done it too to an extent. Like we have Kyurem, and then
that's true.
Necrozma fusing with the legendaries.
Right. So obviously you can only do that with so many given Pokemon. It's obviously going to be very limited, but I think there's a lot of good possibility of what you can do with that, and I think that would be a really fun thing to explore in this new gen. Yeah,
that is a pretty dope idea. I don't even know what I would predict for a for a gimmick. Maybe I mean, like when I think of like tropical islands, the thing that comes to mind would be like Z moves, I guess, with like the dances going with like the move, but I genuinely don't know what kind of gimmick they would do for this, honestly.
I would hope that it's better than what Terrestrialization looked like, because like the type change, like you said, game-wise, the gameplay-wise, the type changing is really cool, but that it doesn't really make me feel really cool when my Eevee has a giant chandelier on its its head.
It looks really out of place. I guess we'll just have to wait and see for them to give us more information. Probably next Pokemon Presents in 6 months.
Yeah, seriously. So we're feeling pretty hopeful about the direction that it's going, like with this new game. So hopefully they can continue that trend.
Yeah, and make a good Pokemon game and be successful. Well, it'll always be successful, but like critically successful at least.
Right. Because, I've said to you before, I think Game Freak follows the same mantra where it's like, we like money, but we don't like more money.
More money, yep. I mean, they're making plenty of money.
Yeah. But they could be making more money.
They could always make more, yeah. I would love to see, honestly, maybe not in Winds and Waves, but like any future Pokemon game to have a gimmick where you could visit multi-regions. Like you brought up PokeMMO, which for legal reasons, I'm not going to explain how to set up or what it is. But
I don't even know what game you're talking about.
Once again, we do not condone piracy or emulation. Please do not pirate games.
You can't see it, but I'm winking and.
But yeah, PokeMMO, you could go from Kanto all the way up to Gen 5 and Unova, and that was a sick idea. I would like something like that in a future Pokemon game eventually.
I mean,
the only thing we got was Johto officially, like going to Kanto and Johto.
I was gonna say, like, Generation 2 is my least favorite generation. I know you're a huge Gen 2 guy.
My sweatshirt is Johto Pokemon.
Right.
I'm wearing it right now.
But I mean, I do really like Heart Gold and Soul Silver, where you can go back to like Kanto and go through all that.
Just opens up a lot you can do, like long term and game wise.
Mm-hmm. It seems like this new game is going to be a set of islands. So if that were the case for this game, it would be really cool if Alola was right next to this new region.
Yeah, and they've been playing with this idea, like the Scarlet and Violet DLC. I mean, like, I know it's a terrarium in the ocean, but it takes place in Unova.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I heard about that.
The Blueberry Academy, Scarlet and Violet, geographically, takes place in Spain, but the DLC, like Kitakami, takes place in Japan, and then the Blueberry Academy, like I said, although in the ocean, takes place off the coast of, like, in the Atlantic Ocean, so Unova, which I thought, like, they've been teasing this idea for a while. They just need to execute it.
Yeah.
And not just make it like some side expansion.
Right. So, hopefully we see some good stuff from Pokemon.
Yeah. Pretty optimistic. Looking forward to what is shown with this game coming up.
Shall we move on to our secret topic?
Oh, absolutely. I'm ready for it. Hit me.
All right. So, I'm gonna text you something real quick.
Yeah, text me. Okay.
I'm gonna text
even though we're sitting right next to each other.
Yes. I think it's just gonna be easier for both of us if I just do it this way.
All right. Take your time.
Yeah, I will take my time. Thank you. So, I sent you a list.
Okay.
Hold on.
Just got it. I'm seeing a bunch of names and numbers and check marks.
Yeah.
What does all this mean?
So all of the games that I sent you have anniversaries this year.
Yeah, Zelda's 40th anniversary is this year too.
Mm-hmm. So, some of those some of the games on the list we've already seen that are going to be coming out with new stuff this year.
Yeah, like anniversary announcements.
Like Pokemon was already going to be a given. We knew that. Castlevania just recently announced a new game for their series.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the Game Awards, Tomb Raider announced a new
looked
a new
pretty sick,
game.
Actually.
So with the ones with the check marks, it's either like a game is already announced for this year, or they already had like a new game within the past like year or two. So it's probably not going to be likely.
Yeah.
But my question to you is, out of the list of games that I sent you, which of those franchises do you think are going to introduce a new game in the series this year?
A new game in the series?
A new game in the series.
Like completely brand new, or like game like a port? Does that count?
Like brand new.
Brand new?
Brand new.
There's a lot of good games on here, and honestly a lot that I didn't expect to have anniversaries. I mean, like Gears of War turning 20, like I know we're getting E-Day this year.
Yep, that one's already...
I mean, Stardew Valley creator already made a new game a couple of years ago called Haunted Chocolate Factory or whatever it's called. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name, but I know he made a new game.
It's like completely like not that. It's like it's like something completely different.
Okay, like in terms of like game series that will make a new game in this IP, out of this list, I think we honestly most likely would see a new Zelda. I don't even know if a new Zelda game.
I think it's a toss-up. I think Zelda could be a possibility. I know that it's...
For Zelda, I see them more so adding, like, older games they had on, like, the Wii U, like Twilight Princess or Wind Waker.
They could add the HD remakes to Switch for sure.
Honestly, out of this list, maybe It's hard to tell, honestly, because a lot of these either had like a new game already, like you said, or just like are already made a new IP from the same studio.
I think the one that I would want the most, even though I haven't really played the series yet, is Kid Icarus. Kid Icarus is 40 this year, and
I'll even take a port of the 3DS game on Switch, please.
Honestly,
it's so good. Uprising.
I've seen some clips from Uprising, and it looks incredible. So I would hope that Kid Icarus comes out with a new game, because that franchise only has 3 games to its name.
Yeah, Nintendo kind of forgets a lot of their IP as well.
Yeah,
like that. I mean, I was surprised to even see a new Metroid game.
Right. I'm also open to hearing about like if they are going to show off any acknowledgement.
I could potentially see a new Luigi's Mansion game, because I know Luigi's Mansion 3 was really successful, and it's been, I mean, Luigi's Mansion 3 has been really successful when it came out on the Switch 1. And then we got Luigi Mansion 2 ported over, and then we got Luigi's Mansion 1 on NSO with the GameCube app. So it's like we have the whole trilogy. So I could honestly see them probably making Luigi's Mansion 4.
I could see that as well.
Because the third one was so successful, and I really enjoyed it a lot. Honestly, that's probably the only one I could see, because either these other studios have already made a new IP, like completely brand new, or like I see Diablo's 30th anniversary is on here, but like they're still working on Diablo 4.
I was going to say they'll probably just do some kind of update for 4,
yeah,
I imagine.
Yeah. Like in-game event or update.
I think Halo could be a possibility for something.
I mean, we're getting CE remake.
Yeah, we're getting CE remake. I'm pretty sure there was another there is Halo 7 that is in the works.
Yeah, I just don't know if I'd see that this year, though.
Maybe maybe announced
info.
this year.
Yeah. I don't see a new Animal Crossing game, unfortunately, because
no, probably not.
I would rather see more work put into New Leaf.
Yeah.
New Horizons, yeah. Yes.
Which I'm glad that they're doing more updates.
After they said last time was their last update, and then added another update just a month ago or so.
Yeah. I mean, if there's any of their like famous franchises that they should keep up to date on, because it's so loved, is New Horizons. Because
it could be like a Sims deal where they just keep adding expansions,
right,
and just keep adding to that game. But Nintendo's weird with post-launch support for arguably some of their more successful games in history.
Yeah. It may not be like a huge game, but I genuinely could see something for Zelda. You're right, they probably could do like the HD bring the HD remakes to Switch, which I would love.
Yeah.
But I could see them also like releasing something that's like on the level of Echoes of Wisdom, where it's like it is like a new Zelda game, but it's not anything like absolutely humongous like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom was.
Yeah, I just don't see like a game being announced anytime soon for something like that, like a new mainline Zelda game. Anytime soon.
Yeah. I think Dragon Quest has a good possibility of coming out with a new game.
Yeah, I mean, they just did a remake of
7.
Yeah.
They, over the course of, I think last year and the year before, they had released the remakes for 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And 11 was the last like new game that they had, and I think that's been out for a while now. So I think they're about due for
a new one. Yeah. Jeez, I honestly didn't realize how many anniversaries were coming up this year.
I didn't either. I was like, I'm really curious, like, because like I knew that Pokemon had an anniversary. I knew that Zelda had one. I knew that Tomb Raider had one. But I was like, oh, what else has anniversaries this year? Like, holy crap, there's so many.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot more anniversaries on things, because like Overwatch is coming up on its 10-year anniversary this year.
Don't remind me.
A game I play, The Division, is coming up on 10-year anniversary. Rainbow Six Siege is coming up on its 10-year anniversary.
Mega Man is coming out with their new game, and I think it's also their 40th anniversary this year.
Yeah. Kind of surprised by the amount of anniversaries this year.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Pokemon Go. I mean, I know that's like in the brand of Pokemon, but Pokemon Go came out in 2016.
Right.
And that's crazy to think about that was 10 years ago.
I would I've only played the first one, and like the first one was kind of mid, but I would be open to a Devil May Cry 6.
Yeah, that one's been a while since we got a new mainline game.
Yeah.
I mean, like Devil May Cry 5 was
2019, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A while ago.
They're definitely due. You know what? I can't wait for Bubble Bobble too. That's that.
Yeah, that.
I'm gonna manifest.
This is the year that's coming back.
My dad and I used to play that on the Wii, and I would happily manifest Bubble Bobble 2, for that to come out this coming year.
We'll just have to see.
Yeah, I guess we will.
Alrighty, I think that pretty much does it for this episode.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for joining us today, and
yes, thank you once again for joining us on this new episode.
Yeah, we love. We've only done this twice, but we really enjoy doing this, and we hope to grow in this medium as we continue to do it. So we hope you join us along for the journey.
Yes, yes,
and we will. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, yeah. Like we said in the last episode, we're still learning as we're going, but hopefully, with us getting some kinks out of the way, we can start making these on a more regular basis and start uploading them more regularly, and kind of expand this and get more on track with this podcast and grow, like Hunter said. So, yeah, like you said, thank you once again for tuning in, and we will look forward to you in next week's, or whenever, next episode.
Next year's episode.
Next year's episode, yeah, for our 10-year anniversary. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Forever Backlogged, signing off.
See you guys later.